Today we will learn about self-portraits. First, let's start with a quick vocabulary review. A portrait is a picture of a person. A self-portrait is a picture you make of yourself. We are going to learn about the basic structure of a portrait and how proportions can help us. Proportions are when we compare objects to the whole. For example, when we look at this face, we can compare the size of the eye to the head or how far down on the head the nose is. Those are proportions. The biggest thing to remember with facial proportions is that they are not set in stone. Everyone's face is different, so your face may be just a little different than the proportions we talk about. These are just general guidelines. When we talk about proportions, we can compare them to fractions. We will use the following fractions to help us map out the face. We will start with the eyes. If we look at this face, we can draw a line across the top of the head and the bottom of the chin. If we split that space in half, we get the placement of the eyes. The eyes are halfway down from the top and halfway up from the chin. Each eye is about 1/5 of the width of the face. Here you see the face divided into fifths, so 5 parts. If we measured it out, we would see that the space over the nose is actually a little bigger than the others. Again, these are just general guidelines. Nobody's face is perfect. The nose is about half of the distance between the center of the eyes and the bottom of the chin. The nose is about as wide as the space between the eyes. The center of the mouth is about 1/3 of the way down between the nose and the bottom of the chin. The mouth is usually about as wide as the distance between the pupils in the eyes, but this changes depending on if you're smiling or making a silly face. The top of the ears is usually in line with the eyes, and the bottom of the ears are usually in line with the bottom of the nose. In this picture, the boy's head was tilted slightly down, which makes his ears appear higher. But notice that the size still matches the distance from his eyes to his nose. The hairline is about 1/3 of the way down from the top of the head. This is where your hair actually starts growing out of your head. The hairline is about 1/3 of the way down from the top of the head to the eyes. This is where your hairline actually starts growing out of your head. In this example, the boy's hair is longer, so it comes down farther onto his forehead, but that hairline is still 1/3 of the way from the top. Here are some things to remember as you start drawing your self-portrait. Faces are not perfectly symmetrical. One eye is usually higher or lower, one eyebrow higher or lower, or a little bit different shape. Our brains tend to think our faces are perfectly symmetrical, but they really are not. Start with a pencil and draw lightly. You are going to do a lot of erasing. You'll kind of map out your face first, and then as you get going, you're going to start changing some of those lines as you realize how all the pieces fit together. And I know this sounds silly, but it can be a lot easier to draw a face if you take the picture that you're working from, so either if it's on an iPad or on a phone, and just turn it so that it's upside down, and take the paper you're drawing on and turn it so that it's upside down, so the top is at the bottom is at the top. This kind of tricks your brain. Since our brain wants to see things perfectly and wants to see them symmetrically, it will actually try to make you draw things that you don't see, or draw eyes how they don't actually look. So flipping it upside down tricks your brain and makes it so that you can actually draw what you see and not what your brain thinks it sees.